You're listening to the Solano Paranormal Podcast, where the unknown meets investigation. From haunted locations to unexplained encounters, we dive deep into the mysteries that surround us. With your host, Mitch McLean, get ready to explore the truth beyond the veil.
Hey everybody, I'm Mitch McLean, your host for Solano Paranormal Podcast, Episode 1. Glad you could all join us today. I'm here with my good friend and team member, Roman. Hi, Roman.
Hey, how you doing there, Mitch? How you guys doing?
Good. All right. So welcome, listeners, to the Solano Paranormal Podcast. I am your host, Mitch McLean, paranormal investigator, researcher, and your guide through the shadows. In this Episode 1, The Gateway to the Unknown, and today we're kicking off our journey into the world of the unexplained, hauntings, legends, spirits, and the eerie phenomena that just can't be ignored. Over the coming weeks, we're going to explore chilling stories, interview eyewitnesses, and break down the equipment and technique that we use in the field. But for now, sit back, dim the lights, and get ready to peer beyond the veil.
Nice.
All right, Roman. So we're here, our very first podcast from Solano Paranormal. How are you feeling today?
I'm excited, man. I'm really excited. I'm glad and I'm thankful that you got me in this.
Yeah, I'm really excited about it. I think it's going to be a good addition to our social media stuff, and maybe encourage people to come into the team and ask questions about what we're doing and get to know us and get to know our equipment and all the stuff that we use on investigations. We really want to bring in our investigations to the greater audience. We wanted to show you guys what we do. We want to talk about our investigations. We want to talk about the evidence that we gather and all that stuff. We want to talk about all the good stuff about paranormal investigating. We also want to talk about the myths about paranormal investigating. We want to talk about some of the stuff that happens maybe on paranormal TV shows. We want to talk about the reality of real paranormal investigations and research. Like Roman, for example, I love paranormal TV shows because they're great entertainment. They're great entertainment value. I love sitting down and watching them and getting, oh my God, that was a great EVP they got, or oh my God, they get all watching them all jump about, getting excited and stuff. But the reality of paranormal investigations is, what you're seeing them record is like an hour.
Yeah.
An hour episode, say 40 minutes to an hour. They've been there in that building for maybe 24 hours.
Yeah.
And they've been recording all that time and doing different things. So it's not like you see in the TV shows where the paranormal activity is just constant, where it's like over an hour you're just getting bombarded with paranormal activity. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
all that's happening over a period of time, and then they obviously edit it all down and everything, bring it all down into an hour's episode. Now, the other thing that I like to mention about paranormal TV shows is even taking that stuff into consideration, hauntings don't happen for every investigation. You got to be very lucky to pick up paranormal evidence, good paranormal evidence. It's you got to be in the right place, the right time, with the right equipment. So there you go. It can happen where you just hear a voice, where all of you hear a giggling or a laughing or talking or whispering, or it can be stuff that shows up on your EMF meters, your XLS cameras, your full spectrum cameras, which the human eye can't see those spectrums. So you could pick stuff up on those infrared, night vision cameras, all that stuff. You can, but the evidence, it doesn't happen every investigation. I mean, we've done investigations where, our very first investigation we done, Roman, before you joined the team, was a house in Fairfield. And, the lady's partner had committed suicide by hanging.
Wow.
Now, we went to investigate. She would have been hearing stuff, seeing things, feeling things. She had done her own kind of ghost box sessions on a ghost box app on her cell phone and had collected some evidence. But we went to her house and, we broke out all the equipment. We spent like 4 hours there. We broke out all the equipment, and we just couldn't get a hit.
Wow.
We just couldn't get anything. So it was very frustrating, and you get hauntings, you get occasions like that. And it's not to say there isn't a haunting there. It's just you don't know the schedule of ghosts.
No,
You don't know the schedule they keep. It's not like they hang around waiting for a paranormal team to come in and like, oh, hey, ghosts, hey, are you there? Oh, hey, there he is, paranormal guy. Hey, yes, we're here.
If they have intelligence, there's a good chance they're hiding from you, so they don't get discovered.
Absolutely. Well, that's one of the big questions. Do ghosts want to be discovered? Do they not want to be discovered? Do they want? And to me, I think it's a per basis situation where it depends on the ghost.
Yeah.
You have some ghosts who are intelligent and they're obviously trying to communicate with us. Like either they're knocking and repeating the knocks that we make, or we ask them to turn lights on and off and they do it. And they're interacting with us in very specific ways.
Yes.
And, we can identify those and be like, okay, man, that was great. That was an intelligent spirit that wanted to communicate. But then you get other spirits, like shadow figures, for example. Who knows what a shadow figure actually is? But for the sake of argument, we call it a spirit, some sort of spirit. It obviously doesn't want contact because they hide from you. You catch them on camera by mistake when you're moving the camera around from one side to the other, and you catch them by mistake all of a sudden, and they dart back into the shadow real fast. They obviously don't want to communicate. They don't want us to know that they're there.
That's a good point. That's a good point, because every captured evidence is always by accident.
Yeah.
For the shadow figures.
Yeah, shadow figures you don't capture. They don't just appear on demand. You don't say, hey, shadow figure, I've never seen that on any TV show or any piece of
No, it's always when you said,
always,
when they turn the camera.
it's always lucky evidence. Either you've caught them on like a night vision CCTV camera that you have set up at your home, but you're not actively monitoring. You just have it set up and you record it and you watch the video every couple of days or whatever, and then you see something. Or you're videoing something with a video camera on an investigation, and like I said, you're panning around with the camera and you catch something just fleeting out the corner.
Yeah.
That's usually how shadow figures work.
Yes. You're right. That's exactly how they get captured.
All right. So who we are and why we investigate. Let's start with a little background. Who we are here at Solano Paranormal and what we do. So we're a small but passionate team of investigators based in Solano County, California. We study claims of paranormal activity, document evidence, and help promote and help people understand what's really going on in their homes or businesses. Now, we've investigated everything from historic buildings to our suburban homes. And while not every case turns up undeniable proof, every case leaves us with questions that fuel our search for answers. For us, it's more about ghost stories, more than just ghost stories. It's about truth, experience, and connection with something beyond the physical. All right. So, like I said, let's talk about a little bit about who we are. We're Solano Paranormal. Right now, we have about 4 or 5 team members who come on investigations with us. We are still looking for volunteer investigators, equipment technicians, psychic mediums who would like to join the team. So if you get any experience or even non-experience, you just want to join the team and learn, hit us up. Let us know. Get in contact with us. Even if you're not in Solano County, but in the surrounding areas, you're more than welcome to come join us. We investigate all through California and up and down the Pacific Northwest, so through Oregon and Washington as well. So if there's anything going on in California, Oregon, Washington, and you want us to come investigate, we will come investigate. That's our Solano Paranormal Guarantee. We won't leave anybody stranded. If you are in a dire situation and you need a paranormal team to come in with all the proper equipment and the proper experience and know-how, then we will come in and we'll do an investigation for you free of charge and try and get to the bottom of what's going on. All right. So, Roman, you've just joined the team. How are you finding it so far?
Oh, it's great. You're a professional, obviously, and your knowledge is way beyond anyone I know. I mean, you have the right foundation to what you're doing. Your heart's in it. Spiritually, I think you're strong for
Yeah.
it, and I'm with you. I'm with
I
you, man.
appreciate that, brother. Appreciate it. Yeah, we're in this together. It is a spiritual fight. You made a good comment the other day that, like we're God's warriors.
Yeah,
We're fighting for God,
yeah,
fighting for good. We're fighting
for
against
for the
evil.
people, for his
Yeah,
children, for
exactly.
helping his children.
And what our goal is ideally, you know, to sense when we do an investigation, we want to sense what the number one, what the client wants. Does the client want the spirits gone, or are the spirits soothing to her or to them? Is the spirit presence actually, comforting? Because maybe it's the spirit of a deceased relative, or something like that, and the family member maybe doesn't want them crossed over and sent away. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So you
yeah,
have to be very
yeah.
careful to the client's consideration and what they're actually looking for from an investigation. So
Because they might just want
yeah, a
acknowledgement.
lot of
Yeah,
a lot of our clients just want to be heard. They want to know they're not crazy.
yeah,
They want us to document what they're hearing
exactly.
and seeing, so that other people can say, "Yes, I hear and see it too." And most of the
Well said.
time,
Yeah,
that's the biggest thing. Once somebody validates their experiences and says, "Yes, I
yeah,
see it and hear it too," I believe you. The weight that comes off your shoulders is
yeah,
immense. It's immense because so many people, when they come to us here at Solano Paranormal and they tell us their stories, they're like, they always interrupt their own story by saying, "Please don't think I'm crazy." That's the biggest line I always
oh
hear
yeah,
is, "Please don't think I'm crazy."
yeah,
And I'm like, I'm not going to think you're crazy. Nobody's going to think you're crazy. And it's just because it's so out of the realms of the norm when you're talking about paranormal investigations that
yeah.
people don't want to talk about those experiences they've had at their home, their businesses and stuff, and appear as if they're mental.
No, it's true. You're right. You're dead on. It is. It is hard for someone to be uh, revealing when it comes to that. It's people will feel nervous and ridiculed. You know.
Yep, exactly. All right. So that's who we are here at Solano Paranormal, what we do. Um, what else can I tell you about the team? Like I said, there's about 5 of us in the team right now doing investigations. We are hiring investigators and all this stuff. Voluntary positions, of course, doing your spare time. So make sure you've got some spare time available. Make sure you're dedicated to it. Make sure you really want to be part of it. And here's the thing I'll tell you if you're wanting to apply to join the team or any paranormal team. Make sure you're not just interested in the fun stuff like the actual investigations. You have to be committed to the other stuff that comes with paranormal investigations. You have to be dedicated to things like monthly meetups, coming to monthly meetups for the team so that you always have the latest information. You know what's going on. Participation in the websites. We have 2 websites, solanoparanormal.org and solanoparanormal.com. Now, solanoparanormal.org is where you can book investigations. If you want to book our team to come out to your property and do an investigation, you can book one there. It has a blog, it has articles, it has our RSVP section where you can RSVP to all our events, such as our monthly meetups or a scheduled investigation, or whatever we have coming up. as the team grows, we want to get our name out there. So we're going to start doing things like community outreach. So, like here in downtown Sassoon, if they have open markets, fairs, and stuff like that, where they have all the community come out and there's vendors there and they're selling stuff, we maybe take a little 10 by 10 booth down there, set up a little 10 by 10 booth and give away our wristbands, our little Solano Paranormal pins that we've got, give them away to the public. You know, talk to the public about what we do, get them to join the websites, get them excited about ghost hunting in Solano County.
That'd be excellent.
Yeah. So that's the goal of the team. We don't want to just sit back and do investigations and stuff, and we want team members that are going to participate in all of these activities. Team members that we don't expect team members to have unlimited amounts of free time. We understand people have jobs and work and family and all the things, but as best as they can, you know, when they're in the team, you know, we want them to do the investigations, of course, but we want them to help with evidence review. You know, going through camera footage, going through photographs that we've taken on an investigation. You know, because one person can't do it all. You know, and I do everything right now, but we need to, you know, we'll spread it out over the team. All the responsibilities as the team grows and as we get more experience and we get more prepared and stuff, we'll do all that. But there you go, guys. That's who we are as Solano Paranormal. If you've got any questions, drop them in my IMs on the website. Please join the website, solanoparanormal.com. That website is our main website where we can interact with our ghost hunting paranormal friends and all the community. So if you're into ghost hunting and into Solano Paranormal or just ghost hunting or the paranormal in a bigger bracket where we talk about things like cryptids, UFOs, all that kind of good stuff, then join the website, solanoparanormal.com. Sign up there for a free account. Once you're in, you'll have access to things like our live discussions every week that we do every Wednesday at 7 o'clock Pacific time. You'll have access to things like articles. You'll have access to things like our courses, our paranormal research courses. We have a beginner, an intermediate, and an advanced paranormal researcher course. We have a beginner and an advanced demonology course. So if you're interested in any of these subjects, you know, come along to solanoparanormal.com, sign up for free, and take one of our courses or read our articles or just interact with the community, make some posts, tell us about your experiences with the paranormal. We'd love to hear it. Make suggestions about where we should investigate next. All of that good stuff you can do on the website. So check it out, solanoparanormal.com. All right. Taking a breath for a minute and a drink of coffee.
The courses are very, very, very good.
Huh?
The courses
Oh, yeah.
that you teach, it's a lot of information, a good foundation.
Yeah, they really are.
So everyone should.
They really are. I recommend the courses to anybody who's interested in doing paranormal investigations or wants to do anything to do with this subject. Educate yourself. Don't go in blind, just winging it. You're going to get busted. You're going to get caught out. You're going to, you know, get yourself in a deep situation that you don't know how to get yourself out of. And then during an investigation, you know, so educate yourself. Don't go off just watching ghost shows and TV and things like that. Have experience with the paranormal. You know, that's their best type of team member. Ones that have had deep experiences with the paranormal. You always want someone who's kind of like a skeptic on your team, just to help balance it out a little bit.
To try and
help you try and debunk stuff. But they've got to be skeptical, but they've got to still have an open mind, because you don't want them trying to debunk everything and saying, "Oh well, no," you know, because there's some things you just can't debunk. Like EVPs.
No, they got to be
Like
scientific.
EVPs. How do you debunk a Class A EVP
Yeah.
when you collect it on your recorder? When everybody's quiet, there's nobody talking in the room, and all of a sudden you're playing it back and a voice comes through. There isn't anybody there. You know, how do you explain those? Come on, Roman. How do you explain
can't.
those, damn it?
You can't. It has to be something in the
Yeah.
environment.
Yeah, there has to be something else there that we can't physically see or hear. It's
Yeah.
beyond. Now, here's an analogy. I'm going off script a little bit. Oh my God. Yeah. Here's an analogy that I love to make about hearing and how we hear and why we don't hear all these things. You got to understand our ears are just a tool. They're a piece of equipment. They're tuned to a certain frequency. They're tuned to hear sounds on certain frequencies only. We're not tuned to hear every noise that exists in the world under the full spectrum of noise. We're not programmed to hear every noise. You know, dogs can hear way into spectrums that we can't hear. You know, so like you ever heard the old question been asked, if a tree falls in a forest and there's nobody around to hear it fall, does it still make a sound?
Yeah.
All right.
I heard that.
Yeah.
one.
Now, to me, the answer is quite straightforward and logical, because without anybody or any animal, anything with an ear around to hear that tree fall, then that tree does not make a sound while it falls, because sound is an artificial concept. All sound is a human word. You've got to think of it like this. Oh, what is sound? Sound is compressed airwaves, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so something, you hear a car going by and it goes, vroom. That's the compressed sound wave that car is pushing out. Okay? Now,
Okay.
if there's nobody around to hear that sound, it really actually doesn't make a sound, because there is no thing as sound. All it is compressed airwaves. It needs a receptor. It needs a tool to turn it into sound.
Okay, that makes sense. You actually make
So
sense.
our ears turn those compressed airwaves into sound. And then our brain processes it and we hear what we hear.
If there's nothing that receives
If there's
it,
nothing that receives it, if there's no ear, whether it be human or animal, or around the tree when it falls, then there's no sound made. All that happens is the air is
Yeah.
being compressed. There's only sound when there's a receptor to receive
that's
it.
a good point. That's a good point.
Okay, so that blows a lot of people's
Yeah.
minds when I try and explain it that way, because people think sound is like a thing of nature, like a naturally occurring thing in nature, like sound is sound, like whether people are there to hear it or not, like you know. But there's no such. It's not. It's only sound once it reaches a person or a thing's ear, and they
You know,
process
to be
it.
truthful, you're the only one that explained it properly, because everyone who tries to explain it did not make
Yeah.
sense. That actually makes sense. If there's no receptor to pick it up.
Yeah. I mean, how can it make a sound if it doesn't have the tool to process the compressed airwaves?
create that. Yeah.
Because that's all it is. The compressed airwaves enter our ear, they vibrate around our ear, they get shoved through our ear canal up into our brain. Our brain processes those vibrations and turns it into sound, what we hear.
Yeah.
You
Makes
know?
sense. That's good.
So to me, it is pretty straightforward. So the answer to the age-old question, if you want to know it, if a tree falls in a forest and there's nobody around to hear it make a sound, does it make a sound? The answer is no, it does not make a sound.
That's good. That's good.
All right.
I've always challenged people with that, but I'm not challenging you. That was pretty good.
All right. Let's move on to
Pretty
the
good.
next segment. All right. A history of hauntings. So ghost stories are nothing new. In fact, humans have been telling them for thousands of years. Ancient Roman texts describe shadowy figures in darkened halls. In medieval Europe, spirits were thought to be souls trapped in purgatory. In many indigenous cultures, spirits are seen as messengers or protectors. And then there are the famous hauntings such as the Tower of London, the Winchester Mystery House, the Bell Witch, and more recently, the Enfield Poltergeist and Amityville. Now, Amityville was obviously a huge one, get made into a movie, but was based on a true story. How much of it in the movie was actually the true stuff, and how much was fabricated? I guess we'll never know. But it was based on the true story of the Amityville Mansion.
So was The
Yeah,
Exorcist.
so was The Exorcist. Yep, that was based on a true story also. So there's been very famous hauntings in the past. The Winchester Mystery House, that's really close to us. That's in San Francisco, right?
Yeah. No,
Or San Jose.
I don't think it is. Yeah,
San Jose. Yeah, San Jose, the Winchester Mystery House. So I would love to go down there. I would love to make contact with the owners of the Winchester Mystery House and see if we could do a ghost investigation down there. I don't know. That would be wild. That would be wild, getting access to somewhere like that. I mean, I know a lot of these locations now have actually come around to the idea that there is a lot of paranormal groups out there now. There's a huge interest in the paranormal. And there's a lot of groups out there. And a lot of these organizations, like these structures, these old buildings, old prisons, old hospitals, the people that own them have actually came to realize that they can make money by allowing paranormal investigation teams to come in and do paranormal investigations, pay a little money for the privilege, and everybody's happy. The owners of the home or the building or the structure are making money for the upkeep of it, and the paranormal team are getting to go investigate a spooky place. So what I'm going to have to do a little bit of research. And if anybody watching knows or has any information on the Winchester Mystery House and how we would, as a team, would go about requesting permission to do an investigation down there, please do let us know. Jump in on the stream, drop us your comments, let us know what you think, and for sure we will follow up on it. Yeah,
that would be fun.
Yeah. I mean, we've got one good one coming up. Well, it's not coming up. It's in the future. The 3rd of March, 2026, we have Nevada State Prison booked.
I'm there.
So that is going to be so exciting. That I've seen so many TV shows, paranormal TV shows, go to the Nevada State Prison to do investigations, and they always pick up on loads of evidence. They always get loads of stuff going on at Nevada State Prison. It's a really well-known haunted location, and you can imagine why.
Self-explanatory, man.
Yeah. People lost their lives there. People went mental, absolute crazy there.
Evil, man. The evil around there.
The evil that was housed there and contained there. All these evil men who done the most evil, despicable things that you could think of were housed there. All their energy is written and recorded into the fabric of that building. And that's what we're looking, and that's what we're wanting to investigate. So it's going to be real fun. It's going to be real fun to go up there and do that investigation.
That's for sure.
All right. How long have we been running for, Roman? How long have we been running?
Almost 30 minutes, I think.
30 minutes?
Yeah.
Nice.
That's not bad. That went down. It went down pretty quick. I mean, fast, right?
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. All right. So we're going to take a quick minute here just to let everybody know who we are and what we do here at Solano Paranormal. So stay tuned. We'll be right back after this.
You're listening to the Solano Paranormal Podcast, where the unknown meets investigation. From haunted locations to unexplained encounters, we dive deep into the mysteries that surround us. With your host, Mitch McLean, get ready to explore the truth beyond the veil.
All right, I am back, and Roman's back with me. All right. So we're going to move on to the next segment. We're going to move on to segment 4. Okay, so we're going to talk about our first paranormal experiences, Roman.
Okay.
All right. So now I want to get personal. Let me tell you about my first true paranormal experience, the one that made me a believer, or the experiences over time that made me a true believer. Okay, and they all happened when I was a child. Now, I told you the story, Roman,
Yes.
but for the benefit of the listeners, I think I was about 5 or 6 years old, and I would go to bed at night, and I would get myself situated in bed, and I would close my eyes, my light would be turned off, because my mom was never one of these ones to mollycoddle me and leave the bedroom light on and stuff like that. She never believed in that. No, the bedroom light was off. If you went to bed, the light was off. So I'd be lying in bed, light was off, and I would start to hear whispering. It'd be a couple of men whispering. I would hear it. Could never make out what they were saying, but I knew they were talking. And then I would feel one of them sit down on my bed, and you would feel the actual compression of the mattress. Somebody sitting down and you feel the mattress going down. And I'd be so terrified at that point, I would bury my head under my pillow and pull my sheets up over my head and my pillow and be like, I swear, I don't know for sure, but I swear I would pass out at night with fear.
Oh, wow. I'm sure
I
you
swear
did.
it was, I don't think I just fell asleep. Because how could you fall asleep knowing someone's sitting on your bed
Yeah.
and stuff like this? I think I
And
passed
everyone,
out with fear.
yeah.
I think I just became so overridden with fear at what was happening that, I just
That was your
completely passed
defensive
out.
move, you know? That's a
Yeah,
instinctive defensive tactic.
yeah, yeah. And it being only 5 or 6 years old, you can imagine you're terrified. You're stuck in your bed. You feel someone sitting on your bed. Like you said, once they're sitting on your bed, it's not like you can jump up out your bed because they're sitting there.
Yeah.
It's like, and you're terrified. You're hiding under your blankets, you're under your pillow, you're pleading for it to go away and leave you alone. And all you can hear is the two men whispering and one sitting on your bed. It's the most terrifying experience I've ever had in my life. I had them repeatedly as a child. Now, they used to happen just after I went to bed. Not when I'd been in bed for a while, I would wake up and hear this stuff. So you can rule out it being a dream. It would happen just after I went to bed. I'd be lying in bed and just getting myself comfortable and just starting to close my eyes to get ready to start settling down. And then I would start hearing the whispering. So it was always when I first went to bed.
Oh, you'll know the difference between, being asleep and dreaming it than
Oh, yeah,
yeah,
for sure.
It's a
For
real
sure. But because of those experiences for a lot of years, I closed myself off to the paranormal.
oh, I
I
bet
was
that's
so
frightening.
terrified of it, really afraid of it. So I blocked it out for a lot of years.
Understood.
And it wasn't until I was a teenager that I had my next paranormal experience. And I'll tell people about that another time. But that was a long time, a lot of years where I was able to shut it out
Yeah.
and block it out completely. But it did come back, and now me creating this team is my way of reconnecting with the paranormal, my way of
Yeah.
opening myself up again to it. I want to experience it again. I'm older now. I'm wiser now. I'm not going to be as afraid. I have the tools and
Well, this
the
part of the world
experience
needs
to
you
do
there
it.
now.
Exactly, exactly. So, what about you, Roman? Tell us about your first paranormal experience.
Well, it started when I was like 7. Um, and to me, it was a good, it happened, you know, in a good way. It
Hmm.
wasn't frightening. I'd be asleep. I'd wake up in the middle of the night. I'm not sure what time, maybe a little after 12 or maybe 3. And I'd be afraid of just waking up in the middle of the night where no one's awake and you're alone. And so it really frightened me to be awake. And all
Yeah.
of a sudden, I get this face just glow out of the wall where my head would be laying,
Whoa.
and it would just pop out, and it looks 100% like the that character in Mirrodin, that was it Snow White
Uh huh.
or with a, what do you call it, with a face coming out of the mirror when the
Right.
witch asks, mirror, mirror, and you know, that one.
Yeah.
It's just like that. And I knew nothing about, you know, that movie. Okay, this is something that I saw, and I had no reference to anything to make it up. So
Right.
it's a face. It has, you can see the features by the different shades of white. And it, you know, and the first time I think it tried to talk to me, but it was like a childish voice, and it was, you know, it's like gibberish. I couldn't understand it,
Hmm.
but I felt safe with it. I felt I had company, you know, all night. Um,
Okay.
I don't even remember when I fall asleep. I just remember waking up the next day. But yeah, when and it would come to me every time I wake up in the middle of the night, and it would comfort me.
Yeah.
And somehow we started. I don't know. I guess we communicated by just, you know, from just the feelings, I guess, because I really was comfortable with it.
Yeah.
And that's why I think in this paranormal world, I'm more accepting, you know, of what this is, you know, that there is good, there is bad, and I'm not as scared, you know.
Right.
And there's a lot that went through my life, and yeah, but that was the first.
Okay. Interesting.
No.
And have you had them consistently through your life?
Oh yeah, yeah. From workplaces to different houses that we rented. Some are scarier than others. There's actually like demonic attacks towards my family. Yeah, it's a whole
Yeah.
spectrum of haunting. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
From what you've told me, you've had a lot of paranormal experience. I've had my share, but nothing as intense as what you've experienced. And I wouldn't want anybody to experience those kind of negative, intense
yeah.
paranormal events. We don't want anybody getting affected by demons or poltergeist or anything like that. Those are really hard to remove. You ask any paranormal investigator, unless you know what you're doing with a demon, it's almost impossible to remove a demon. You alone will never have the authority to remove a demon unless you're an ordained minister or priest. If you're an ordained minister or priest, you immediately have the authority of God behind you, and the demon
Oh wow,
must and the demon must listen to you. One of the things,
go ahead.
one of the things that you do as a demonologist is call out the demon. You want the demon, you want to know that demon's name, because the minute you know that demon's name, you have the power over it.
Yeah,
And if you're an ordained minister or priest, you are working with the authority of God. So what they would do during an investigation, if if you had an ordained minister or priest with you, they would actually call out the entity, call out the demon, demand it tell us its name. The demon, because it's working under even though it's a demon, it has to adhere to the authority of God. They cannot escape the authority of God.
it's in scriptures. Yep.
No matter what they are, demons or not, they cannot escape the authority of God. So if someone working with the authority of God demands the demon tells them their name, there's a demon there, the demon will respond in some manner and tell you its name. Once you identify the demon, you know what you're working with. Then you can look through the text, through the scriptures, through the lists of demon books, all the things. Locate your demon, find out what that demon's all about, and then you've got the power to go battle it. And that's what it is when it comes to demons. It's a battle.
It's a
It's a
it's a
war,
intense battle.
and you never want to handle it yourself. The minute if I was on a paranormal investigation and I identified a demon, I'm going to be very careful how I approach it. I'm not going to antagonize it. I'm not going to try and make it angry. I'm going to try and document its proof. What I'm going to do is try and prove that it's there,
Yeah,
prove that something's there. And then my next step after that is going to be taking that evidence to somewhere like a Catholic church and having a local priest um, watch it, or a local
yeah.
minister
Review
go
it.
over our evidence and tell them the story of what's going on, and have them come in and do a. Usually, what will happen is if you approach a priest or a minister, and ask them about this stuff, they'll come out and bless your home first. They'll come out and do a blessing on your home and spray holy water and stuff and command that the spirits leave. It's like they call it a minor rite of exorcism. It's essentially a minor rite of exorcism. They'll come into your home, do a minor rite of exorcism, a blessing, and try and expel whatever dark entities are in your home. That's the first step. Now, if the demon behavior continues after that and everything else continues after that, then they might step it up to doing a full what's the word I'm looking for?
I'm not sure.
Maybe like a full exorcism, like a full. They're going to come out of your house and they're going to do a full cleaning. They're going to. It won't be like just a minor rite of exorcism. They do that. It'll be the full rite of exorcism. You know, they're going to come out.
Quick question.
Yeah.
When they do an exorcism, does it always deal with a possessed person or just demons that surround?
No, it doesn't necessarily have to deal with a possessed person. An exorcism. An exorcism can be, you can be exorcising the property. You know, a demon that's living in the property. It might not be, you know, so you're exorcising that demon out and casting it out. Whether it's in a person or residing in a property, it's still the same rite of exorcism.
Gotcha. Makes sense.
Yeah. I've never experienced a rite of exorcism being performed, you know, but who knows, you know, when that need will arise for us, we're, like I said, our last investigation will be done down in Rio Vista. I'm convinced that's not a demon. Now, I'm convinced that's not actually like a demon. I think that's just a trickster spirit that's there, someone trying to mess around and trick the client, and make her think things and hear things. But they're only doing it when she's around. They're not doing it when anybody else is around, so it's difficult to collect evidence. We were lucky we had the XLS camera, and we managed to pick up a couple of hits on the camera.
Those are good evidence.
That's real strong evidence. You know, because those cameras don't give false negatives or false positives. They're really good. They're built to only show or only map in a figure that's actually there, that it sees in through all the spectrum, then the infrared, the radar technology that it uses, etc. You know, so
that's a good watch. People should see that. I mean, it's on the website.
Yeah, it is on the website. So if you're on the website, SolanoParanormal.com, you go to the video section, or it's on the main front page of the website. You can click on the videos and you can watch our investigation into the home in Rio Vista and see how it all went and see the evidence we gathered. So,
and all the, you know, when the lights weren't working and all that, I think that has something to do with, you know, the spirit.
Yeah, no, exactly. Even though it was quiet in the sense of we didn't capture as much evidence as we wanted, we had some good hits. We had the camera evidence. We had the REM pod go off. We had some voices come through, some words come through on the Ovilus.
The SLS, that drained too, right?
Yeah. The XLS camera drained. The EVP recorder drained. Yeah. Now, before we go out in any investigation, the first thing I do is break out all the equipment and replace all the batteries. So every investigation we go on, the equipment's got new batteries in it. So they shouldn't run out during an investigation, but I always carry spare batteries just in case anyway. And
the spirits, when they want to manifest,
yeah,
right?
Exactly. All right, so how far are we into this first podcast, my friend? How far are we in now?
Almost 45
45
minutes.
minutes? Nice. So we've got about 15
Yeah.
minutes left. All right, so let's do a listener story segment. So we've got a listener story segment here, and this is called The Visitor in the Hall. Now, it's time for one of our favorite segments, Listener Stories, where we read and explore real paranormal encounters submitted by our audience. Now, this one comes from Jessica in Vallejo. And Jessica says, about 6 months ago, I started waking up at exactly 3:11 a.m. every night. Jessica says she lives alone. One night, I woke up to see a figure standing in my hallway, tall, shadowy, and unmoving. She froze. It felt like it was watching her, she says. Even though she couldn't see its face, she stared at it and it slowly drifted backward into the bathroom and disappeared. No sound, no footsteps. And the next day, she found her bathroom door closed, and she said she never closes her bathroom door because she lives alone. She's no need to close her bathroom door. Yeah, so that one came from Jessica. Thank you, Jessica, for sharing that. It sounds like a classic shadow figure manifestation, I'll say. We'll be covering those in detail in an upcoming episode for sure. So I want to thank you for that. That's an interesting one. Shadow figures are very common.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, there are a lot of shadow figure sightings these days. And like we spoke about earlier, they're usually caught by complete accident. You never
Yeah.
catch one on purpose. They do not want you seeing them. Hence why they're shadow figures. They stick to the shadows and
Yeah.
lurk around and stuff. But that's interesting. A tall, shadowy, unmoving figure in her hallway, watching her, no face, and then it kind of just drifted backwards into the bathroom and disappeared without any sound or footsteps. And then the next day, she
That is
found
frightening.
her bathroom door closed. I'd be pretty scared. I mean, I know I have things going in my own home. Even though ours is a new house, a new build, it's only been built for maybe 4 years. We're all where we are. We're all living on Indian land. Where we are here,
Yeah.
we're living on Indian tribal land, old Indian land. The Solano from Chief Solano and the Sassoon tribe.
That is so true.
Yeah, Sassoon City was founded. Sassoon City, actually, Sassoon, where we're actually based in, actually means west wind in Native American because Sassoon City always has a west wind blowing through it. So they called it west wind, which is Sassoon.
Okay.
Yeah.
I never knew that.
There you go.
Cool. Yeah. Full of knowledge, man.
And the knowledge. Knowledge is power. Knowledge is power.
Of course.
All right.
It gets you out of predicaments.
Exactly. All right. Again, I want to thank Jessica for sending in that story from Vallejo. Thank you very much. If you've got a story you want to share with us, drop us a line. Let us know. Send us a message on the website. Tell us your story, and we'll put it on our next podcast. We'll talk about it. And maybe even invite you on if you want to come on the show and talk about it personally. We'd invite you on the show as well. So if you're interested, do get in contact, solanoparanormal.com. If you want to email me, you can email me at admin@solanoparanormal.com. Nice and easy for you, admin@solanoparanormal.com. All right, on to our next segment. Here we're going to talk about the tools of the trade, Roman. The tools of the trade. Let's talk gear, because every investigator needs the right tools.
High-tech.
Now, here are a few we use regularly at Solano Paranormal. EMF meters. Detects electromagnetic field fluctuations. Digital voice recorders. Captures EVPs, electronic voice phenomena. Infrared cameras. And infrared cameras help us see what our eyes can't in the dark. Spirit boxes. Scans radio frequencies, allowing spirits to form words. trigger objects, toys, coins, or music boxes that spirits can touch and manipulate and set off. Full spectrum cameras. Full spectrum cameras allow us to take pictures across all the image spectrums and allows us to see things that our eyes just aren't programmed to see. We use REM pods. REM pods discharge their own electromagnetic field, and if anything interferes with that, it sets the REM pod off, sets alarms off, sets lights off, tells you there's something there, and you have to be really close to a REM pod to set it off. You can hold a REM pod in your hands like this, and it won't set off. You have to put your hand above it and move it around, and it'll pick it up. Laser grid systems. Now, one of the newest additions to our toolbox is the laser grid system. Now, this allows you to mount it on a tripod or place it on a flat surface on the ground, point it towards a wall or a shadowy area that you want to investigate. It'll blow up a full-on laser grid on the wall. Then anything that walks in front of that laser grid, any spirit that walks in front of that laser grid will set off the alarm. It'll also map in the shape of the figure on the laser grid box. It'll also show you what the figure looks like in a rough estimated way using little blocks. So it's pretty cool tool. So I'm really looking forward to breaking that one out at our next investigation. So that's some of the tools that we use here at Solano Paranormal. We have a whole bunch more. We have, gosh, I can't even think now. There's so many.
What about the one that you can pick up the voice and know the gender of the spirit?
Oh, like the portal device. Yeah, we use portal devices that work in conjunction with ghost boxes. You connect your ghost box to a portal device. The portal device essentially cuts out all the white noise and amplifies any ghost voices. And your ghost voice will come through as the voice of the ghost. It won't be like a computer voice. It will be a human voice coming through. So you'll hear maybe a female voice or a male voice or a child's voice come through, which is really good because it gives you that instant identification of who you're talking to. Okay, I'm talking to a woman. You know how to address a woman. Then, if you're talking to a guy, you know how to talk to a guy. If it's a child, you know how to talk to a child to get them to come forward and talk to you more. So it gives you good information, and they're great evidence. They're absolutely great evidence.
Yeah.
Now they can be a little pricey. Portals usually start around $400. But if you've got a paranormal team, I would recommend you get one and add it to your ghost box. Combine it with your ghost box, and you will thank me a million times for the results you get. Trust me. All right. So what's coming up here on Solano Paranormal Podcast? In future episodes, episode 2, we're going to be talking about haunted homes when spirits don't want to leave, what you should do and stuff. So we're going to get into haunted homes and when spirits don't want to leave. We're also going to talk about the team a little bit more. We're hopefully going to have some of the other team members on camera here answering your questions. If you want to join our podcast and want to come on live and talk about your experiences with the paranormal, like I said, hit us up on the website, solanoparanormal.com. Send me a message there and we will arrange it to get you on the show. And you can tell us all about your experiences and what's been on, or if you want us to do an investigation, whatever, or you just want to shoot the crap with us and come on and talk a little bit about the paranormal for a few minutes, you're welcome to come on and do so. So just hit us up on the website, solanoparanormal.com, and we will get that information to you and get you on the show. All right. That's about it for us, Roman. We're about there, right?
We're about an hour, yeah. It's pretty good.
Yeah, nice.
54. Yeah.
54 minutes. That's
Well
perfect.
done,
55 minutes, perfect for a show. All right.
Well done.
So I want to thank Roman for being with us today. I want to thank everybody for listening and watching in. We are Solano Paranormal Research and Investigation Team from Solano County, California. if you have anything you want to know about, any questions you want to ask us, I urge you, like I said a million times, join the website, solanoparanormal.com. You'll get all the information you ever wanted about the paranormal there. Everything
it's
is
free.
there. And it's free.
Yeah.
That's a big deal. All the information, all the courses that you can do,
Yeah.
all the articles that you can read, all our content is absolutely free. So make sure you partake in that. All right, we're going to get out of here for today. Want to thank Roman again for joining us. Want to thank you all for listening and watching. Join us next time here on Solano Paranormal Podcast. Get the podcast wherever you pick up your podcast from. iHeart Radio, Apple Podcast, all the good places, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast from. Subscribe, like, download, all the things. Make sure you're showing your support for Solano Paranormal Research and Investigations team, and we'll be back with you next time. All right, Roman, thanks very much, my friend.
Thank you, Mitch.
All right, and we'll talk to you next time. Bye, everybody.
Bye, guys.